Are you wondering if you have to be fully healed in order to be in a relationship? I just want to poke on that belief right there that you have to reach a certain point of perfection, of being fully and completely a clean slate at the 0 point until you actually interact with reality and another human being in the way of being in a relationship. Because there are certain things that can only truly be healed in interaction with and by being mirrored by and reflected of another human being. There are certain things that you can only heal inside of a relationship, not before, not outside of a relationship, but inside of one. When there is commitment from both of you to meet each other where you're at and reflect one another, mirror one another, and truly show up knowing that you both are committed to bloom beyond perfectionism together, right? And live from a place of vulnerability. So what is it then that you will only truly be able to practice once you're inside of a relationship? Firstly, practicing reacting and responding to abandonment triggers in a new and healthy way. Secondly, I would say direct communicating concerns and boundaries to your partner. And third, working through conflict or disagreements in a grounded and empathetic way. And fourth, being in a relationship and maintaining a sense of connection to the light sunflower and bloomer within you, your sense of self, your sense of soul. These 4 things, both based from experience and also from just observation, I truly know is something that you would probably only be able to heal, or where you'll be able to peel off layers of in order to come more into a sense of wholeness and wholeheartedness and love. So if you're wondering if you've got to be healed enough in order to be in a relationship, I would say no. So let's go through each of these, shall we? Firstly, practicing reacting and responding to abandonment triggers in a new and healthy way. When you're in a relationship with someone, when you are being mirrored and reflected by another, oftentimes you might be triggered. At a certain point in your personal growth journey, you won't have much triggers left because you have somehow ascended them, or there's no kind of emotions beneath or underneath or memories to be accessed in order for you to actually feed into the trigger or reaction. And so you begin to kind of just observe in a way. This is indeed possible. But in order to actually get to such place, being able to actually interact with reality and with other human beings and people in some way, shape, or form can actually help you heal it. If you're isolating yourself, if you're just basically sitting on your own little island, or if you're waiting until you're fully healed, thinking that you will never, ever, 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 ever be triggered anymore, then think again. Go into your relationship. See for yourself. because being in a relationship is typically what will bring things out of you that you couldn't have gotten out if you only were in your own company. So this is crucial to know. Your triggers can only be healed in a relationship to others, and going deep as well into relationship with parents or caretakers and realizing that there might be triggers there too is a great way to maybe start that healing outside of a relationship. Because once you do that, then you're more likely to not kind of be in and around people that are similar to your caretakers or caregivers and parents, that they kind of come with a different energy to them when you have healed those triggers, for sure. But that's not to say that when you get into a relationship, there will be other triggers coming up. Yeah? So keep that in mind. That you can only truly practice responding to abandonment triggers in new and healthy ways inside of the relationship. And then we had second, direct communicating your concerns and boundaries to your partner. So it is oftentimes in relationship to others, in and around others, that we begin to actually get to know a little bit more or get more details around where our boundaries really are and what concerns we may have. Because it's through interacting with reality that we kind of get to know more about ourselves. So whenever you're then in a relationship, there might be more opportunities for you to actually begin setting the boundaries, enforcing the boundaries, communicating the boundaries, and do it from a place of compassion and love for self and other, knowing that you're separate and one all at the same time. But in order to maintain that sense of sovereignty, self-sovereignty, it's very essential to set those boundaries. And obviously, you can begin practicing setting boundaries in different areas of your life before entering a relationship. But it's when you are in the relationship that you can begin interacting with your own emotional nature, your own mental nature, whenever boundaries are either ignored, overstepped, or where you begin to dissolve your boundaries in order to please. So this is where you can begin to observe your tendencies, especially when it comes to people pleasing, and whether you're able to kind of draw yourself back in to alignment with your truth and state that wholeheartedly. Furthermore, we have working through conflict in a grounded and empathetic way, yeah? So disagreements and conflict can come up when we are different expressions of source energy, yeah? And sometimes that energy can be in alignment, other times it might not. And so even though that you might have initially gotten attracted to one another being at a similar frequency, sometimes we basically shift that, or we encounter something in reality that kind of throw you off balance a little bit and throw you into different frequency. And so that changes the dynamic a little bit, right? And so this is your opportunity to practice being grounded through that and be empathetic through that, and actually then navigate and kind of communicate what it is that you are thinking and feeling and where you're at in order for someone else to begin seeing through your filter, through your way of being. So that is something that you absolutely can harness inside of a relationship too. Groundedness together. And truly just knowing that when you then ground and spread your roots, so to speak, with another person, and you can begin to kind of communicate where you're at, how steady you are right now, then you can kind of begin collaborating and cooperating in that process of stabilization, of groundedness. And oftentimes, your ability to be grounded will be reflected in your partner and vice versa. Furthermore, lastly, being in a relationship and maintaining a sense of self or connection to the light, sunflower, and bloomer within you. So obviously, when you are outside of a relationship, it would probably be more likely that you would basically be able to maintain more of your sense of energy and self. And so when you're in a relationship, it would be kind of expected that your energies would somehow blend a bit, wouldn't it? What is crucial, though, is then being able to kind of have that macro and micro perspective, and also being able to hold two realities at the same time, so to speak. Your reality of being yourself in your own energy, and the reality of being in a relationship with another, and basically cultivating an energy together that is blended. So do you see how when you're in a relationship, then you're given an opportunity to actually begin kind of differentiating what is you, what's not, and choosing to always come back to self. Come back to you. Come back to you. Come back to you. And from that place, you can give without that expectation of receiving. Because the receiving will be reciprocated back to you. It will come back to you when you come from a place of wholehearted love. It can come back in infinite ways, infinite possibilities for that. So the opportunity is then for you to be able to maintain your sense of connection to the light, sunflower, and bloomer within you, while simultaneously growing this beautiful relationship beyond you for you both to grow. So, all in all, there's no such thing as being fully healed. There's no such thing. The only thing that truly matters is that you dare to be brave enough to open yourself up to heal inside of a relationship. And that these 4 things will probably be the things that you would encounter inside of a relationship to heal. I support you with this process of being able to have a connection with yourself. Thyself, I say. The light, sunflower, and bloomer within you. And simultaneously also allowing yourself to be supported and to support others through relationship. Because that is essential too. To not just shut yourself off. Okay? So, how do I support you? I do it in the Bloom Beyond Tribe, where we're in there together, both free guests, sunflowers, and paid clients that work with me intimately for a year plus to be able to actually shift reality from the perfectionist way of living to the bloomer way of living. So it's from this place that you can begin to actually interact with reality, knowing that there's no such thing as being fully healed, that you are basically growing and evolving constantly, and most certainly you will inside a relationship, because it is a personal growth machine. That's truly what it is. And I encourage you to do so once you've rooted to a certain degree within yourself, thyself, beyond perfectionism. This is what I also cover within the Bloom Beyond Perfectionism program, actually, within the Mycorrhizal Networks module in the root season of the program, where we cover this. How to communicate your boundaries. And another module, is Bloom Boundaries, where we go deep into that and how that works and everything. And being able to live in a relationship and be in a relationship and bloom beyond perfectionism during it. Literally utilizing your relationship to overcome perfectionism as well. Fascinating how that works. So the first step would be to join the Bloom Beyond tribe. And then from there, you can join the paid programs as well. You can go to bloombeyond.com/apply to apply for a free monthly cohort. And I might see you on the other side. I love you. Stay bright, brave, and balanced.